Okay, so what's up, guys? This is your boy Gabi, and let's talk about character development. I have here four important bullet points, basically, about characters, about their personalities, and what do I think that should be important to your story, to your manga or graphic novel. And let's get to this. So, the character that doesn't fold. When I mean fold, I mean like fold or bend his or her ideals. Now, I strongly recommend this character to be suited for protagonists, antagonists, secondary main characters, and anti-heroes. And a little bit later down the video, I'm going to tell you why. The second one is the righteous character that thinks that what he or she is doing is for the greater good. Then you have the convincing character that forces his or her ideals onto others and impact them to change. Then you have the sympathetic character that relates to everyone and ends up getting changed as time goes by, but as well has an impact on others and makes them want to change this character back to show them that what they were doing was actually right, and this makes for a great antagonist as well. So let me just tell you how can you twist and bend and fold these parts into different characters. So the first character is the one that doesn't fold or bend, and when I mean that, I mean it's always for a strong character that has his or her ideals from the start of the show all the way to the finish. And it's a very strong, independent character that never changes their way of thinking, their train of thought. So this character is the one that always thinks that justice is good, right? And they always do justice and justice, and even until the end when he or she dies or he or she actually prevails, they always stick to that, justice. It's somebody that you cannot change their mind. Doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter what comes, it doesn't really matter how much time passes by. That character will never change. Now, let me tell you how you get this guy into either a protagonist, antagonist, secondary main, or an anti-hero. Now, for protagonists, I think this is very good, especially when you're going down the line when you have an antagonist that is a person that feeds on people, on making them want to change, and he wants for everybody to have his ideal. This is very good to have a protagonist this way. And you can also switch it up and have it where you have a protagonist that wants everybody to change for the greater good, but the antagonist doesn't fold or bend ever, and he or she will never succumb to his or her ideals. So this is how you can really, really switch this up, And then you have the secondary main character, which is pretty much a little bit more of a supportive role, but he is not mainly a supportive character because he or she actually has a lot of good steps into the story and actually brings a lot of life into the story as well with them. So this character is actually good, especially when you have a protagonist or an antagonist that's trying to change people's minds, or that's trying to help this character, and this character doesn't want help, and this or her character is always obnoxious and always trying to do stuff the way they want to do it. So I think that's a good role as well. Alongside of the anti-heroes, which anti-heroes pretty much are like that, even though I've seen a couple of series, I've read a couple of books, that the anti-hero at the end winds up folding. That's good for character development, but I don't really like that because I think that the part is so strong that it should be played by one person that will actually never, ever change. And it makes it a little bit more realistic, down to earth, and a character that you can actually find yourself really connecting to. So that's actually good. The second one is the righteous character that thinks he or she is doing for the greater good. Okay, so this actually goes good with the very first bullet point that I just finished saying. Now, this character here, you have to give him like some type of dark past or something very good, the way that it was brought up. And backstories are actually really good for your story or for your graphic novel or manga. And I really think that people should play on backstories just a little bit more. Sometimes I don't really see people putting backstories into supportive characters, and if they do, they just give it like a quick wash through, and I don't really think that should be like that. I think you should really focus on that character just a little bit and see how they keep tying up to their past or to their backstory. You know, I like to give characters more than one backstory, or just one backstory, but portrayed in different factions, basically. You know, so don't just show this little flashback just one time throughout the series and that's it. I like to have a character with with multiple flashbacks that actually pretends to the same thing. You know, let's say if that character was abused when they was little, you know, have different clips throughout the show or throughout your whole story, manga, or graphic novel, and show them multiple times in different ways and different occasions that this character actually got abused, and it really goes to tying up to why he or she is acting that way, or why he or she does the things that they actually do, and why they would never change their ideals, and why they think that the world is so cruel or that the world is so happy as well, because they was probably brought up in this very happy, loving home where everybody forgave everybody, yada yada yada, you know. Then the third one is the convincing character that forces his or her ideals onto the others and impact them to change. Now, this actually goes good with the righteous character as well, just because the righteous character can be put into antagonist or protagonist or a secondary character as well. So the one that convinces them to change is actually very good, because it's a character that comes in, he or she impacts the story so much that he causes for the whole story to change. If you have this this secondary character or somebody that plays in the background, you know, he or she could be so convincing between protagonist and antagonist that can actually make that character change and become an antagonist or protagonist. And that's actually key point. And that's good character development. I also think that this should be played on a little bit more. So hit on that one. And the sympathetic character that relates to everyone and ends up getting changed as time goes by, but as well impact others and makes them want to change this character back to show them that they were right. This makes for a great antagonist. Now, let me tell you what is the point behind this one. And this one is actually very key. I think this one is actually very good as well. So, this is a character that changes to other characters. Now, this character could be a goody-goody two-shoes, you know, that does everything, like, on a straight line, right? And throughout the story, you see this character facing different problems with different people that have issues, people that are bad or evil per se. And this character is so strong that down the line he changes his or her way of thinking and actually make them convert to what he is. But at the same time, the whole plot twist that I like about this character is that at the end, he or she gets converted to the very same thing that he or she was trying to prevent other people from doing. And then you have the character that he or she changed come down the line and actually want to change this character back because they respect them so much that they think that they are doing wrong. This is something that I really, really think people should play on more. This is a very important role. All 4 bullet points are very important role. It's just really how you actually get into them and how you actually portray them. So yeah, you know, this is some points of character developments. I was going to talk about like the good and bad character developments, but I'm not going to go into that. I'll just give you, you know, some type of advice or some type of roles of what actually makes good character development or a good character, good personalities. And it's your boy Gabi, and peace out.